Hi, everybody. I just want to get my thoughts and reaction to the Green Bay Packers falling to the Minnesota Vikings by 2 points. The Green Bay Packers did end up coming back a little bit in the fourth quarter and almost... Hold on 1 second. Didn't we do this already? We did. It just happened again. That's right. It just happened again. The Green Bay Packers went into Minnesota completely unprepared, and it seemed that they were just undisciplined again for 3.5 quarters. But they did turn it on with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Too bad it was too fucking late. Oh, I hate the Vikings. I hate the Vikings so much. But I gotta give credit where credit is due. The Vikings are good. The Vikings are an elite team in the NFC. They're an elite team in the NFL. And I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But it is what it is. The Vikings are good. It sucks. But they are. As always, let's start with the Green Bay Packers offense. Jordan Love, 19-30, 185 yards, and a touchdown pass. No interceptions, so I'll give him that. Another game, no turnovers, fine, so be it. I'll take it, I guess. He heated up in the fourth quarter. Too little, too late. But, oh well. Josh Jacobs, 17 attempts, 69 yards, giggity. 1 touchdown. And he did have a fumble on the very first drive, which kind of set it up for what the game was going to be. It was going to be one of those games. The second Josh Jacobs fumbled the ball on the first possession, first drive of the game for the Green Bay Packers. Fumbled the ball, and it was just kind of set the tone for the entire 3.5 quarters where the Packers were going to be undisciplined, unplanned, and unprepared for what the Vikings defense was going to do. That was kind of the way it was. Randy Wilson also had 6 attempts for 29 yards for a touchdown. That's cool. Leading receiver of the Packers with 7 receptions and 58 yards was Romeo Doubs. Tucker Kraft had just 2 receptions for 53 yards. And Malik Heath had 1 reception, 3 yards, and 1 touchdown. And again, the absence of Jaden Reed, I'm not understanding why Jaden Reed is not being involved. What's going on? Why are we doing this? Jaden Reed is an explosive player. Why is he not getting open? Why are we not using him? Again, Bull Melton barely used. Christian Watson out. Again, another thing, the injuries for the Packers could definitely tell in this game. Christian Watson out. You could tell that. Jair, again, out. Evan Williams, out. Quay Walker, out. Devontae Wyatt went out in this game with a concussion. Zane Anderson went out in this game with a concussion. So the injuries are starting to mount right at the end of the season. And in a game where the litmus test for the Packers was this game. Yes, you're already in the playoffs. But we wanted to see how the Packers would perform against a team, an elite team, who's going to be in the playoffs and could very well win the NFC and be the number 1 seed. And they go in there and they crap the bed. They crap the bed like they did in the Detroit game in Detroit. They come out, they're slow, they're confused, they don't know what's going on, nothing's working out, and they just kind of accept it for 3.5 quarters. There was no change until 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Like, what are we doing? Like, we're not going into this game. The Packers came in this game completely unprepared, and they still had their head in the clouds over blowing out the Saints. You blew out the Saints. Good job. Everybody does that. They came in this game, I think, thinking they could just come into Minnesota and beat up the Vikings, and it's not going to happen. I said it already. I hate it. The Vikings are good. They're very, very good. Okay? They're very good. Their defense is... It's elite. Their offense is elite. Everything is elite. The Vikings are an elite team. Okay? They are. You can't just come into the game unprepared and expect to win in Minnesota. This isn't last year where they were beat up, no Kirk Cousins, they were missing how many people, and you came into Minnesota and you blew them out. That was awesome. It was beautiful. It was amazing. This is not that same team. You can't come into this game firing on one cylinder and think that, all right, well, we're going to be all right. Fumble the ball right away, and then just... That was the main issue with the defense. The secondary in this game was awful. It was horrific. We could tell there was no Quay Walker. There was no Evan Williams. There was no Jair. We could tell when Devontae Wyatt went out. We could tell. There was no pass rush. Sam Darnold had all the time in the world to do whatever he wanted. And when he had the time, wide receivers like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Naylor were wide open. They were wide open. Hawkinson had how many catches? And he was wide open. How does this happen? How does this happen? Where's Xavier McKinney? Right? I expect that kind of crap from Eric Stokes. Where's McKinney? Where's Nixon? Where's all these guys that are supposed to be covering? We're supposed to be covering these elite wide receivers, and they're wide open all game long, the entire game. The entire game. It didn't matter if they had how many opportunities on third down. On third down, third and long, third and short, didn't matter. The wide receiver was wide open. Wide open. If I was on the Minnesota Vikings offense, and I'm just a little man who has no football experience, I would have been wide open. Where's the defense? Did Jeff Hafley leave the booth? And did Joe Barry walk right in and say, well, screw it, I'm going to call the defense? It was disappointing to see a good Packers team in the first 3.5 quarters let the Vikings do whatever they wanted. Now, granted, the defense played better than the last time they played the Vikings. They weren't down 28-0, but 20-3 is bad enough. It's not good. It doesn't work. If you're going to play elite teams in the playoffs, which the Packers are going to have to do, you have to beat these teams. You have to come into these games with a better plan. A better plan, because what worked didn't. Whatever plan they had against the Blue Kitties in Detroit, whatever plan they had against the Vikings in Minnesota, did not work. It didn't work. Let's look at the defensive leaders. Javon Bullard, 9 tackles. Good, fine, love it. I love it. I love to see him on the field. I love to see him doing what he's supposed to be. Awesome, wonderful, keep it up. Edgerrin Cooper continues to be a stud. 9 tackles. He had a couple, I think he had 1 or 2 TFLs. Good, wonderful, I love it. I really do. These guys are good. This is wonderful. This is what I want to see. But, Carl Brooks, the 1 sack. Only got to Sam Darnold once. Like I said, the pass rush was completely ineffective. I know Rashawn Gary almost got to him a couple times, but Sam Darnold is too comfortable. That O-line for the Vikings is too good. You have to get to Sam Darnold. Too much time. I've been complaining about the pass rush for the Packers all season long. Last week is kind of a different thing because, of course, you're playing the Saints. They're a battered up team. Fine, so be it. You get how many sacks. That's great. It's wonderful. But this week really needed that pass rush, and it didn't show up. 1 sack just isn't enough. Sam Darnold was too comfortable all game. Carrington Valentine had the 1 interception. It was good. It was great. I loved it. But unfortunately, that was the only turnover. So be it. But you got to create turnovers when you're playing the Vikings. The Vikings lead the league in turnovers. And it didn't seem like it really mattered too much once the Packers got that interception. Again, I believe those in third, fourth quarter, and it was too little, too late. Too little, too late. Let's briefly look over The leaders for the Vikings, Sam Darnold, 37 of 43, 377 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 pick. This is Sam Darnold blowing up the Packers secondary, which I said was they were weak, they were confused, they didn't know what was going on. They were just getting tore up by Sam Darnold all day. Sam Darnold had a good offense. He's a stud. So be it. Fine, whatever. Aaron Jones, 12 attempts, 447 yards. Thank God he didn't get in the end zone. Because we all know he wanted it. And I love Aaron Jones. I love Aaron Jones to death. I really do. And, it would have hurt me to see him get in the end zone. But luckily he didn't. But I still love him. I love Aaron Jones. I think he's a great player, great man. And, man, it just sucks to see him in purple. It really does. It really, really does. Justin Jefferson, of course, their leading receiver. He had 8 receptions for 92 yards. Of course, kept him out of the end zone. That's fine. But still, Justin Jefferson getting too wide open. Too wide open. Unfortunately, no Jair to stop him. Naylor, he had 5 receptions, 81 yards and a tutty. Jordan Addison, 6 receptions, 67 or 69 yards for a tutty. Akers, he had a couple receptions for a tutty. And Jordan Love sacked 3 times. Packers O-line not playing nearly as well as they have been all season. Jordan Love was under pressure all night, all day. Could tell Jordan was uncomfortable. Could tell Jordan just wasn't where he was at. Of course, he finished no interceptions again, no turnovers. That's fine. That's good. He heated up in the fourth quarter, but again, it was too little, too late. And when it mattered most for the Packers, the Vikings, all they needed was a first down. You could argue that was that in that second down on the Vikings' last drive, did Justin Jefferson catch the ball from a couple angles? It maybe looked like he didn't. I don't know. Obviously wasn't enough to try to overturn it. I don't know. It looked like a catch to me. But a play action, rolls right out on third down, wide open, first down, Packers lose. That was the story of the whole game. The Packers' defense was just atrocious. In my opinion, they were awful. They couldn't stop anything. Everyone was wide open, and it just didn't matter. It just didn't matter. Even when it mattered the most, they couldn't get a stop. Like I said, they came back in the fourth quarter and made me believe like they had a shot. And 2 points, lose by 2 to the Vikings again. And it sucks. It really does. Get swept by the Vikings and the Lions, and it sucks. It really does. As a Packer fan, it sucks. It hurts. I hate it. But Packers had plenty of opportunities, and you could argue that the Vikings had 3 points on a kick that they shouldn't have had 3 points because he missed it. And Edgerrin Cooper got called for offsides when he very clearly wasn't offsides. That's 3 points. The Packers could have got 3 points when they went for it on fourth down in Viking territory. They didn't get it. That could have been 3 points. The Packers could have won this game. And then that's the thing. With the last game against the Vikings, the Packers could have won this game. But they didn't. They didn't. They blew it. They had multiple opportunities. I'm not going to blame the refs. They had multiple opportunities to put this game away. And they just didn't. They just didn't. The Vikings had 35 minutes compared to the Packers' 24 minutes in time possession. They ran more plays than them. They had more first downs. What are you going to do? The Vikings are an elite team. I hate to say it, but they are. Vikings are an elite team. So the Vikings are now 14-2, which is what everyone expected. They'll play the Blue Kitties on Sunday Night Football for the NFC North title and the number 1 seed in the NFC. And the Packers are now 11-5, and they will go to play the Chicago Bears at home at noon. The Packers, of course, sitting in that 7th seed right now with a trip to Philly on the schedule as of right now. The Packers do defeat the Bears and the Commanders lose to the Cowboys. The Packers will become the 6th seed and go to either LA or Tampa Bay. That'll all be figured out on Sunday. But yeah, Packers should beat the Bears. Bears on a 10-game losing streak. So the Packers should beat them, but you never know. The Bears would love to come into Lambeau Field in the last game of the year and spoil the Packers, 11-game winning streak against them, and force the Packers into that 7th seed. But so be it. The sky is not falling. The Packers had a bad game against an elite team. I still think this team is special. I still think the Packers can make a deep playoff run. And so be it. If the Packers somehow, they win, Commanders win, they have to play Philly, I'm confident that this team can beat anybody. I am. As long as anybody isn't the Eagles, the Vikings, or the Lions. I'm just kidding. I think the Packers can beat anybody. They just need to play smart. And I think if they can get going against a good team like Philly, I think they can beat them. I really do. I really think this Packers team is special. And they didn't show up on Sunday, but I still have faith. But that's where I'm going to leave it for the end of this week. We're in the last week of the NFL season. And all the playoff games are all going to be set to go at the end of Sunday night. I'm going to be a Blue Kitty fan for sure. But we'll see how it all goes. I hate the Vikings. Go Blue Kitties. And of course, go Pack Go. I'll see you guys next week.